So everyone says Anna is bad when she joins, right? That she can't do anything, that she's so hard to set up kills for. But here's a position where we set up a kill for her right here with a basic iron axe. Now, if we had a forged axe, especially one with hit improve, like a hit engraving or something, she could easily land this attack, but the 76 is still reasonable. This is Anna at base with her joining weapon, easily able to one-shot, well, not one-shot, but like clean up damage on her join map. And early game is the best time to clean up enemies. And there's a few enemies you can leave alive on this map, like this guy. She can attack these with a hand axe, for example. They don't aggro, so like map knowledge helps as well. But this is if you're training her off of Micaiah, like we're assuming we're not giving her Micaiah for whatever reason. But if we want to easily level her up, obviously Micaiah is the way to go. Let's look at Anna at level 6, leveling from her own map with no help hand axing versus CITRINNE base. Now, I commonly hear that CITRINNE's start is really good, and I have played this game enough to know that that's just not true. So let's just like actually look at what the units can pull off. So CITRINNE attacking an armor with thunder does 16 damage. Obviously that's decent. It's not putting him below half. You know, she doesn't have a forge, she doesn't have emblem rings, whatever. But this is just fine. This is not like the best thing ever. Proof of that is if Alir attacks with an armor slayer, he also does 16 damage, so it's not really blowing me away. Anna versus CITRINNE. So let's look at like basic attacks with no forges at level 6. I don't think she got strength at level 6. I think she's still at base strength, so it doesn't really change her damage. This enemy is on an avoid tile, but it's scripted so that you always hit it. So on Silver Axe, she does 17. On Iron Axe, she does 10. And then, of course, like the hammer, she does like 10 as well. She would do more against the armor. And then for CITRINNE, with fire, you're looking at 14 damage. And then on thunder, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's 14. So she can poke for 14. Anna can also hit for 17. She breaks. Actually, no, this is unbreakable tile. She does not break. But she hits for 17, so it's similar damage. So we actually can combo them, I think, for a kill. No, it's 18. We need one more point of damage. But the early performance is pretty similar. Now, her hit rate is better because she's a mystic, so she's ignoring this avoid tile. But we'll fast forward a turn to see like how things play out and where they're at. Okay, let's check some more enemies with the two of them. So against mages, obviously CITRINNE's gonna have lower damage because of the res, so she's dealing 7 against the mages. If we send in Anna with nothing, basic resources, she almost one-shots them. So if Anna was tonicked, if she had a strength plus 1 ring, she literally would one-shot these with Silver Axe unforged. And the game hands you this because of the DLC bonus, unfortunately. So with other weapons though, Iron Axe is putting them at half. If she was on Sigurd with momentum, this would one-shot. If she was on Marth popped with the extra attack, this would kill in 2 hits. So she can one round or almost one round with minimal resources, those mages. For this, obviously this was set up, either of them will last hit. Against the flyers, they similarly have high res. She's dealing 8. Anna is hitting up to an 18 on them. Their hit rates are pretty similar, but the fire, well, CITRINNE's hit rate's definitely better. We do have access to forges though. We could forge either weapon, so I'm just trying to show paces. So against faster enemies, CITRINNE has a little bit of an advantage, but the damage is quite low. Against these guys, she's doing 13. She does not double them. She's doing 14 against this one. And then if Anna hits the same one, she can do 10 on Iron Axe or 17 and break. So it really depends on the targets, but it's not like clear that CITRINNE is blowing Anna out of the water here. Even though she's 4 levels higher and Anna did not level strength from level 5 to 6, they're pretty similar. Like Anna has more damage but worse accuracy, but against targets that she can deal with, her accuracy is good enough, especially if you have some supports, if you have a forge, whatever, if you're running Sigurd. So on Sigurd, she would be one-shotting a lot of these enemies right now, especially with a forge. Another thing for the early game is if we throw Sigurd on Anna and hand her a forge, or just use basic weapons, even without engravings. CITRINNE's damage output, you're looking at, I'm sorry, that's Anna. CITRINNE's damage output against like these lances, you're looking at 13 damage attacks with good hit rates. Against the flyers, you're looking at 8 damage with good hit rates. 8 damage, you know, against 29 HP, not really the best. Against the mages, kind of similar low damage. So she has low damage on the mages and the flyers, and there's quite a few of flyers on this map. So like half the enemies she's not really good against. Meanwhile, on Sigurd, CITRINNE can't have an emblem equipped because we don't have control of her until the map starts. So on Sigurd, I can just walk up to this, even just with like a base silver axe, and do 22 damage, get a break. I can go for an override, which does 16. I can actually get more because I can go from this direction, get a little bit more damage. So she could clean up kills, she could set up kills. Also, funny enough, she has this. On the Steel Great Axe, we have 32 damage, one-shots. It is 65 hit rate, but she can get those one-shots. We could use pulses to rig that. Against these mages, just with momentum. With Iron Axe, she's almost killing. With good hit rates, with Silver Axe, she is killing. And then with momentum, she almost kills both mages. If she was able to get 2 more points of movement, like 2 more tiles of movement, she could kill both mages with override. So if I positioned her like here and moved her forward more, we could get a wraparound override, kill these 2 mages in the opening with 100% hit rate. But generally you're probably looking at something like this, maybe like an accurate attack. And if we want to go with the Iron Axe, it's still like similar damage. But her combat performance is not bad if you actually give her resources that you would give a combat unit. So the point of this is not to encourage you to do this. I don't think this is the wisest course of action. I think the best thing to do is to stick her on Micaiah and just have her like sit next to things and do AoE heals, which is pretty easy to achieve. And essentially you want to let your units get enemy phased, like deal damage on enemy phase and get hit, so that on player phase you get them in a plus shape and you heal them for a ton of XP. So now that we've shown Anna at base versus CITRINNE at base with no emblems, without a forge, with a forge, with the basic silver axe, we can safely conclude their starting performance is pretty similar if you go right to CITRINNE's map and give Anna nothing. But let's say you save Jean's map and you actually planned ahead even slightly. You can get her combat XP as well as great sack XP on Jean's map. You can actually get her to level 10 on this map, but we're just going to aim for like 7 to 8, and then we'll compare their performance again. So let's assume we actually are using Anna in a way where we leveled her up a little bit on Jean's paralog, which I also recommend saving because you can get more early wells, which can mean more early lance power or sword power for your builds. But we leveled her up twice without really slowing down the pace of that map. And now we are doing the same thing. We are using Micaiah for a map. The big thing is though, we don't have to have Anna do combat at all if we don't want to. Against the slower enemies, Anna can hit more accurately. These flyers have a high avoid, so that's kind of like an issue. So right now we have a few damaged things. So all we have to do to get our heals in is just arrange our units and then heal in plus shapes to rapidly get Anna to level 10. And then once she gets to level 10, she can Master Seal, become a warrior, and immediately contribute as a carry. Not as like an okay unit, she'll outperform Eti and Alchrist substantially. So here's a plus shape of units that are damaged. This is how you power level quickly without slowing down this map. Each heal gives you XP. So now she's level 9, almost level 10 already. So we're still pushing. All my damaged units are just gonna get healed now. We'll see where we're at. Should easily hit level 10 before we get to Hort. We're not really slowing down the map. The map is still like attacking us while we're pushing. So we're almost there, just a few more heals and we have level 10. Another thing that's nice about this tactic is if I go for a heal, I can still contribute to damage. So like Anna's healing, but if she's on hand axe or in a good position, she is still a backup. So she can actually help you get bonus damage. So like let's say Alir doesn't kill, or maybe Alir does kill now. This literally gets Alir a kill. So without that, that would not have killed. So the bonus damage is pretty huge. It's just nice to have, like it helps certain units. Like if you're training specific units, it may allow them to get kills they wouldn't get otherwise. So it almost gets Lapis a kill here as well. But it's free chip damage with basic positioning while you're healing, so it's pretty nice. We're on turn 6, and Anna, I believe, will level to 10 from this heal. Yep, she's level 10 now. So we did 1 great sack, 2 big plus-shaped heals, and then 2 normal heals to go from 8 to 10. So she is level 10 on CITRINNE's join map. We're not really slowing down our rate of play. We're not LTCing the map, but we're just playing at an average or above average pace, like just pushing the map down as you'd expect. So how do Anna and CITRINNE compare when they're both promoted? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna promote Anna to warrior, see how she does on this chapter, and then promote CITRINNE to Mage Knight and see how she does in this chapter. So far, we can actually immediately do something on turn 1 and deal decent damage. Now we can do a bit of a combo here.
I'll do my best.
We can stick a Leer there, and then if we had a Leer on spur attack or we had a spur attack, we can boost this. But we actually get an opening attack by being 5 move on an archer on the ballista, so like immediately we're getting value faster than anything else. Promoting an archer is really good for this map in particular. So let's see like what kind of damage we can deal with all the different enemies. Then we'll compare CITRINNE's performance. No emblems, both level 10, promoted just right away. No forges, just basic weapons you would have at this time. Anna can almost kill that mage. She can kill any one of these flyers immediately with this siege. Let's see what else. She can rotate over. On her iron axe, she has 14 damage. On hand axe, she has 12. Of course, she can switch to 2 range and shoot here. And note that the enemy to the right has been damaged on turn 1. So she can just straight up kill a flyer immediately if we really want to. And start like relieving pressure on whichever flank needs it more. So 2 turns in, we're seeing huge value as soon as she's promoted. She's not even on the class she wants to be on, but she already provides value. So she actually enemy phased and tanked. She just ate a combat. I could have switched her to a melee and she could have actually fought that for chip damage. She could have put like 17 on that, putting it half. Leer also survived. Potentially, she could have tanked more as well and enemy phased several enemies. But from here, assuming our team is supporting, obviously we can go for another kill on any of the flyers with the siege. She can pop off to do a kill. She can kill something with her bow, like any flyers can be killed with her bow. She can last hit this enemy that she set up. She can deal meaningful damage, go for breaks. So I think it's pretty fair to say her performance on this map is pretty high. It's probably like one of the best things for this map outside of just making Chloe overpowered, which is usually the best way to win early game. Now let's test CITRINNE. We Master Seal her into Mage Knight after getting sword proficiency. Now for the weapons to test, you could forge an Hellfire at this point in the game. We're not going to do that though. We do have a Levin Sword, and we also have a Surge, so we have other weapons to test her damage on. Note that Anna was using Steel Bow, Iron Axe, and Hand Axe to get the performance that she got. No emblem rings yet, just for this test, just to show like where they're at. The Levin Sword is really cracked. So if she has really good performance with that, obviously that's like a huge forge with an engraving that Anna did not have. So for opening move,
very well.
She cannot use this because it is not, it's physical. She could, however, go for this. Go for like Surge. So for her Surge, also note that we are speed +2 from Emil right now. So that's a thing. We could chain guard her and she can go for like a Surge or a Levin Sword. So let's try that. I think Fram is in range, right? Yeah. Alright, so Fram chain guards her. We want to get as much value out of her as possible. We could also play on that side. These are faster though and probably double her. So we're gonna go for this. We'll stick a Leer next to her as well. We'll go for the Surge first. Then we'll go for the Forge to see like the relative difference. Fight. So bonus damage, chain guard. This is the opening turn. Alright, so similar opening turn to Anna. We don't get to choose our target as much. It has to be whatever target's closest. We did have to use a chain guard and position to a flank here, which is fine because you would have to do this. So she can clean this kill up on Surge. She can go for this enemy for some chip damage, putting him at like a little bit over half. So what we'll do, we'll clean the kill up. I think we'll reset Fram. We'll do another chain guard, assuming they don't go for Fram.
Open up shop. What
Actually,
a
let's do
lovely
this.
scene.
It might just go for Fram, I don't know. Okay, so one did go for her. She put this at like 2/3. So obviously in terms of like targets, even on this Levin Sword, which is like +1 damage from Sigurd, +3 damage from Forge, she still can't really one-shot. She has better damage against like the average enemy, but Anna did not have like a steel bow +3 with Sigurd. So if she would have had that, it would be similar damage. But she one-shot every single flyer. Now she does get wind from killing this, but in the first like 3 turns, the results are pretty clear that Anna is just better as a warrior on this map than CITRINNE is. Now Anna cannot be on Mage Knight yet because she needs second seals, which unlock after this map. But her performance on Warrior is actually really good and relevant, especially for the early game. So she can stay on Warrior for a very long time and still be extremely useful for your team. She can survive a combat. Now CITRINNE is surviving combats here because of her speed. Certain things could potentially one-shot her, but probably not for a while. So she's fast enough to not get one-rounded by most things on lighter tomes. On heavier weapons, obviously she gets doubled, but her damage is decent. So she could like last hit over here, for example. CITRINNE Forge Emblem Test. So we're going to be testing Levin Sword +3 with Sigurd on Bond level 10 Sigurd. So can she double things, first of all? That is an important thing. Does she need to double this early? I'm going to say no. I'm going to assume the momentum damage is enough. Alright, the momentum damage is enough to kill everything but the flyers. So the bow obviously still has an edge there. She's 1 point of damage shy. Obviously, if she levels up and gets magic, she'll be able to kill those flyers, but that's with max momentum. So right now, with Sigurd popped, she can fly around the map and kill things, and Sigurd gives her enough defense to kind of tank them. We don't really have to worry about speed as much, so let's see like what we can push this to. So we're gonna have her kill a guy and see if she can just like tank a bunch of things. Can she tank 5 or 4 enemies? Now I could go maybe 3. I feel like 3 is fair. Let's have her tank 3. Then we'll do the same thing on Anna. She's also speed +2 from Emil. Those enemies have 15 speed. She's 13 right now. Okay, so she was able to enemy phase 3 and put them all below half while killing 1 in the opening. Let's see if Anna can do something similar. Okay, so the test here is a little interesting in that, so Anna is not on the same class as CITRINNE yet, so she has different weapon triangle stuff. So these enemies over here can be one-shot by Anna, right? We can't override with the with the weapon we would want to double kill here if we wanted to do that on either. But she can one-shot these similar to CITRINNE. However, she does get broken by swords, so if I send her over here, she will kill one, get broken, and maybe deal some chip damage if she doesn't get broken by more of them. So the side she wants would be this side. Now, if I just simply gave her a strength tonic or Forge Noatin to +4, she would kill here on this opening hit. Notice that these have 2 more defense and also 4 more health than the sword fighters, and they also have higher strength, 21 damage per hit versus 16. So this side is significantly safer. There's less damage, the enemies have less health, they have less damage output as well, less defense. And then the sword flyer is 9 defense, 30 health, 16 might, versus this axe flyer, which is 20 might, 9 defense, so 20 might. So the damage on the left side is higher. So because we have to play her on the weapon triangle, the results seem a little skewed here. We will give it to CITRINNE in this test here, because obviously being on axes, she does get broken here, but she does still kill the same targets. Similarly, CITRINNE would not kill this barely. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this until we get a dodge to match CITRINNE's dodge, because Anna does survive if she dodges 1. So she has to take 3 combats. Now, alternatively, we could probably set up a chain guard here or something to make it like a guaranteed thing, but we'll just keep doing this till we get a dodge, because CITRINNE got a dodge to make it kind of even. Also note that she had a backup attack on her right away. So hopefully she... Good, she dodged. Alright, so now she tanks. So the result is very similar. They end up both low health. If CITRINNE... Actually, CITRINNE So they both dodge one,
We will
but the
not
damage is higher on
relent until
Anna's side. So she takes more damage. CITRINNE was able to kill one
If these
and put
enemies all
3
Our castle
at basically like a little bit below half. Anna was able to kill one and put 2 at a little bit below half. So if she just was strength tonic or no 10 plus 3, pretty similar result. So that's just something to point out. So with no resources, Anna is significantly better on this map. With a lot of resources, CITRINNE may be slightly better, but if we continue to forge the weapons like Levin plus 4 versus Noah 10 plus 4, the results will be almost identical. And this is the harder side with higher defensive stats and higher damage. We can't be horsing around any longer. It's time to compare Anna and CITRINNE at the same internal level, both on Mage Knight with the same weapons, to see who is actually better in the early game, and if CITRINNE's bonus magic starting out is better than Anna's slight edge in speed. So what we'll do is just pass a turn, let some dudes get up to us. We are not running emblem rings yet, so we're going to check those out in a second. So we're going to test a few different weapons here on different enemies. So L Thunder damage of 19, so putting an enemy at around half health, setting up a kill with another ally. We have Levin Sword for 19, which does this much percentage-wise, around like 2/3, and the same would be true of over here. And then if we actually attack with melee, like with physical, she has 6 damage with physical. So let's trade all of her weapons to Anna. They're both internal level 11,
Here I go.
and leveling Anna was not that difficult. So Anna is 1 out of range to hit that one, but we'll check out these. So for Levin Sword, we're looking at 15 damage, putting the enemy at half. Same story. L Thunder, it's doing like 9. And then for Physical Sword, we're looking at 8 damage. So obviously her physical's better. Her magic stat starts off a little bit below CITRINNE's, which is expected. CITRINNE has higher base magic, but Anna has higher growth. So over time, Anna will catch up to her magic level, but also she will get significantly higher speed relative to CITRINNE. Early on, it is too early to really see that, but for now, they're basically both putting things at around, 50% or 1/3 HP. So performance on this map definitely depends on what they're attacking. Both of them can easily one-round the armors. This map is mostly a bunch of armors. So if you throw either of them in a tree with a Levin Sword, or on a fort, or like Chain Guard, you can enemy phase a ton of armor kills. Anna is fast enough to double in one round the 10, 11, and 12 speeds. The 12 speeds, she can double if you speed tonic her, whereas CITRINNE cannot. So Anna does have better enemy phasing. They both can stomp on this map very easily just by being on Mage Knight. The main problem they both have is dealing with these like faster, higher res lance flyers and things.
Allow me.
For CITRINNE, right now she's on Marth, so we'll show that. So for Anna, right now she almost one-shots with momentum. If we were to give her like sword power, if we were to like give her sword power and magic tonic her, she would be one-shotting these lances. And keep in mind, this is a level 11 Anna, but that's still a pretty good result. And then for CITRINNE, we'll check her out on Marth. If she gets a magic tonic, or if we get her sword power, she one-rounds with Marth popped. So both kind of need more help to one-round the things they have a bad matchup against. Alright, so Levin Sword. This almost kills with a magic tonic, it does. So I think this is her best use case, but keep in mind you lose Marth in 2 chapters, so like this is not a build for her until endgame again. So unfortunately, this could be like one of her better builds, but you only get to use it for 2 more chapters and you lose Marth. So this is probably one of her better things with a magic tonic, with sword power, maybe forge it to +4 to get her to, killing, maybe +4 to +5 with sword power, and she kills with Marth popped. So that's probably one of the better things. She also can run Sigurd momentum and can one-shot more things because she has that higher starting magic versus Anna. So overall, I would give CITRINNE right now an early game like an 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, she's level 10 or whatever when she joins, so she can just immediately Master Seal right into Mage Knight. Anna needs second sealed into Mage Knight. But interestingly, Anna doesn't really need to be on Mage Knight right away. She can stay on Warrior for a while if you want, and she can one-shot flyers and kill armors with Radiant Bow and stuff like that. But if you second steal her, her early performance is almost identical to CITRINNE. She has 2 more speed, but 4 less magic starting out. But as they level up to 20, 30, and 40, that difference reduces by 1 every 10 levels, and eventually at level 40, she will have her same magic, but be plus 8 speed. So I would give Anna like an 8 out of 10 for early game, for, you know, the reasons listed. CITRINNE can hit one-shotting a little bit better, but both can one-round most things. Once Anna starts getting more speed, though, it's about to drastically change. These early chapters are also incredibly easy for the most part, so performance on these maps I don't really think is a good indicator of middle game and end game performance where the stat scaling gets out of control. But I do have to give CITRINNE a slight edge for the early game. If you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown, definitely like and subscribe or consider becoming a channel member to support the channel and get emotes during streams. And aside from that, that is it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.